Welcome to the Bastrop Podcast. Real people, real stories, all from right here in Bastrop, Texas. I'm your host, Matt Walker, a local business owner, realtor, and entrepreneur with Wisdom House Realty Group and Bastrop Drone and Media Company. We sit down with the locals shaping our community, from the mayor's office to Main Street shops, and bring you the voices behind the town we call home. I'm sitting down with Sonya. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. How are you doing this morning?
Good.
That's
Doing
awesome.
Great.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what all you do here?
Sure. My name's Sonya Cote, and I am the chef owner of Storehouse and also a farmer right down the street at Eden East Farm, along with my partner who manages the farm.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Storehouse and Eden East Farm and how they operate together?
Would love to. I guess I could maybe back up a little and say that we moved here during the pandemic from East Austin and found sanctuary here in Bastrop. And we were really lucky to find the land that we did a couple miles down from the restaurant. So now we have this beautiful relationship between the farm and the restaurant that they go hand in hand, and we can grow specifically for what we want to serve here. It's a fun little relationship that we have.
How much land is over on East Eden Farm that you're able to grow everything on?
It's about 5 acres, a little under 5 acres. We grow quite a bit of variety with the seasons. Right now, it's really great season, but shortly it's probably not going to be so great because the heat is going to set in, and we'll just probably have peppers and okra and onions, or pepper, okra, and eggplant. Those are the Texas trilogy, the summer Texas trilogy.
Nice. That's funny. So what inspired you to create Storehouse and Eden East Farm?
I've always wanted to close the loop between the farm and the table, and to grow food with intention and to serve from the heart. And with years in the industry, it just got to the point where I really wanted to know where and be able to get food locally sourced and not rely on a big bag to supply a restaurant. I've developed quite a bit of relationships with other ranchers and farmers. We do have a long list of proteins that we serve here as well. We have a 10-year plus relationship with Bastrop Cattle Company. I purchased from them when I was in Austin, and then come to find out we're neighbors now, years down the road. It's been fun to learn about more local purveyors here in town and to really try to develop that relationship even more. So
Nice. Yeah, I actually just placed another order for a half cow from Bastrop Cattle Co.
they're the best. I love all of them. And it's cool when the rancher hand delivers you the product.
Yeah. Plus, when we picked it up the first time, we brought the kids out and went to the ranch to be able to pick it up. So that was cool. Just like,
It's a beautiful property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was really cool. So you talked a little bit about how the COVID hit and you came out to Bastrop because of that. What made it feel like the right place to launch Storehouse?
I feel like, in a way, planets aligned, the stars aligned. I know that sounds silly, but Austin grew so quickly. It was hard for us to deal with the increase in property taxes, and we couldn't find a place to buy, to live. And we certainly couldn't find enough land to continue to farm because we were leasing property on the east side since 2013, before the big boom of the east side and everything. Bastrop just called to us. We looked all over. We looked in Buda. We looked in Round Rock. We went all over the perimeter of Austin because we love Austin. Our friends are there. Our family's there. But when we found Bastrop, it just really spoke to us because we're outdoor people. The Lost Pines, having a lot of activities to do outside was a huge draw. And of course, being able to afford to buy property here during that time. We did buy in 2019, so it was actually right before the pandemic. But then we moved our farm during 2020 and then opened Storehouse in 2021. So we actually found the property first, and then this space came available, and we're like, this is a no-brainer. I just absolutely love this building. And it just fit our vibe.
So can you tell us about your career journey to where you are now? I believe you started out as an artist, and kind of walk us through what brought you to being farmer, chef, co-owner of two awesome businesses.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, my background is in art and design, and I started visual arts before getting swept up in the culinary world. I worked for Whole Foods in the early 2000s. That kind of started my love affair with organics and learning about sustainable farming practices and all that, including fishing and, of course, ranching. That definitely exposed me to a lot of food systems. And then from there, I launched a bunch of restaurants in East Austin, one being the East Side Showroom. Hillside Pharmacy was my restaurant for about 12 years. Just sold that last year to spend more time here in Bastrop. And then, of course, Eden East at Springdale Farm, which was kind of an al fresco restaurant just right on the farm in East Austin. That was from 2013 as well. Eventually, we came here to Storehouse out of all of that. We literally moved topsoil across town to make these spaces happen. It's been a winding path, but always rooted in connection and creativity.
That's cool. Can you take us back to the moment where you knew food was going to be your creative medium?
Yeah, absolutely. I really specifically remember this moment. And I was traveling for Whole Foods, and someone left a copy of Shea Penny, The Story of Alice Waters, in the airport seat, like where I was sitting, and nobody was around. And I sat there for a while. And so I got the book and I read it cover to cover on the flight and had a clear moment of, this is what I want to do. And the book planted the seed. And I think part of that was the activism of it as well.
How does your art background influence how you create a dish or even the whole dining experience?
And the connection between food and art is great. And I think a lot of people don't really understand what that means. It's the technique is similar to art. You know, it's like you have to learn the foundation of art before you can be free to create your own, in a way. To me, it's the same with food, is learn the real true techniques that have been created by masters. Try to do your best learning that, and then you have the ability to create beyond that. The connection from that is also, it's hard to describe in words. I'm better with writing, but it's also the textures and the colors. It's the same with paint, and you're like pulling colors and, well, I need to put texture here. And it's like on the plate. What is this dish missing? Does it need something crunchy? Does it need some color? Does it need something light and herbaceous? It's very similar to me. And in a weird way, I can see the dish before it's created. And in order to communicate that to my staff too, you have to come up with all of these systems in order to communicate. It's intricate and detailed, same as art.
I don't think I've ever thought about it in that angle, but it makes a ton of sense of mastering what the masters have done,
right,
and then being able to build on top of it in your own style.
You can't be, ew, I know everything about food and pull this out of the air and put it on a plate. And to me, that's not, I mean, you can do that, but it might not be good. But if you know how to buy the chicken from the farmer and then take an ingredient that you know is good, turn that ingredient into something that you know that you're creating the best that you can, and then serving it to somebody in celebration and with intention. What else is there in life, really? Those are the moments that I live for. And it's a lot of fun too, or just having fun doing it. Celebrating with people is not a bad way to live.
No, not at all. So you've been rooted in the farm to table cooking long before it became widely embraced. What does sourcing directly from the land and local community mean to you, and how has that shaped your approach over the years?
I mean, it's everything. When you grow your own food, whose hands touched it, and then you cook with a different kind of respect. There's less waste. There's more seasonality. There's more soul. It keeps me grounded and in rhythm with nature. And over the years, it's made me a better chef, I believe, and a better listener, as well as a more responsible human. So I think that if you're exposed to that at a young age, I grew up in New England. My family's Italian-American, and we always had a garden in the back growing fresh tomatoes. And I just remember that moment of a kid picking a really ripe tomato and eating it. And I'll never be able to eat a hothouse store-bought tomato that's been sitting on a shelf just because of those moments. So it's early exposure, I also believe, is part of that. Continue that in your adulthood.
That's cool. So we need to get more home gardens growing.
Absolutely. Everyone should grow their own, I believe.
We've got a small little one. We've got a bunch of cucumbers and some squash and whatnot. So
beautiful.
They're growing tall.
My husband always says anyone can grow something, even if it's just an herb.
I like it.
But he's also a farmer, and I'm terrible at growing stuff.
I've killed a lot of plants. Okay.
Yeah.
I've killed a lot of plants.
Same. That's why it takes a team, right?
True. Very true. So what role do you see Storehouse playing in the Bastrop community, not just as a restaurant, but as a gathering space?
Well, of course, I hope that it's a place where people can slow down and connect and celebrate, reflect. We host wine dinners and farm suppers, local events, anything that brings people together around the table. Just let me feed you. The building is rich and layered with history, and we try to honor that by creating new stories within our walls.
So you've mentored chefs, led pop-ups, and even done public art. What's one moment in this chapter of your career that's felt especially meaningful?
Recently, the tomato dinner really sticks with me. I think that has been one of my favorite pop-ups and chef collaborations that we've done, bringing 4-time James Beard Award-winning chefs, specifically Michel Nichon from Connecticut. He came to Bastrop and cooked for us. And I mean, that is huge, a huge honor for the people of Bastrop to be able to be exposed to that level of chefdom. I think it's really fun for me to facilitate having chef collaboratives come so that we as the Bastropians can benefit from the delicious creations that they come up with. And it's not just me being out there on the farm, oh, here's what I've created. No, it's like, here's what we've all come together to create using this one ingredient that is so prominent to our success as a farm, the tomato. So I'm obviously obsessed with tomatoes.
It's not a bad thing. You like what you like. You've said in the past that each dish tells a story. What's inspiring your menu right now, or what story are you telling this season?
I mean, it's summer abundance. Our farm is overflowing with beans and squash and corns and herbs, and the menu reflects that. So we're leaning into the bright and punchy flavors. It's also nostalgia summer too. I love nostalgia. I'm super into seafood towers and a really good burger. It's not pretentious food at all. I just want that kind of level of nostalgia, but with something new. So.
And something that tastes good.
Something that tastes good. I mean, that's number one.
So if someone's listening who dreams of starting a business in Bastrop, whether a restaurant or something creative, what advice would you give them?
Be clear on your why. This town is full of heart, but anywhere it takes hustle. Get involved in the community. Listen more than when you speak to what people are looking for. Stay flexible, and then don't underestimate, of course, the power of a good neighbor. I don't know how many times I've called Steve Fossler because he does favorites all, like, hey, you need a tractor, call your neighbor. It's just a real community. So I think that if you're starting business here, it's what do we need? Personally, I think we need a good bagel shop.
So we've heard you love ghost stories. Do you have any you can share with us?
Yeah, I love ghost stories, honestly. And the one other time I did a podcast, I told a ghost story, which is kind of why I asked in a way. And since we're here, but this building used to be a brothel and later a funeral parlor. And we've had psychics that have come in here to visit, or mediums or whatever they're calling themselves at the time. I think there's been a few different types of people, and they visit and then they say, who's upstairs? Who is it upstairs? I would need to go up there. And so I've had to bring psychic mediums upstairs to see who's there. And they always say it's like a madam, but I don't know if that's true or not. And then one night while we were building this out, we found barefoot footprints that were there was a level of dust on the floor, and the front door was locked, but there was barefoot prints in the dust, just stopping midway through to the door. And that creeped me out. We have pictures of it somewhere too. Yeah, it's spooky, but it's kind of in a playful way.
So is there anything you would like to talk about that we haven't mentioned?
I mean, just gratitude. I'm incredibly thankful for my team that work here every day. My GM, our farmers, David, my husband, David, all the chefs, front of house crew. The work is hard, but it's beautiful. And I feel really lucky to do it in Bastrop.
If you had 1 minute to share encouragement or truth with the people of Bastrop, and it doesn't have to be about the restaurant, it can just be about life in general, what would you say?
I would say take care of each other, support small business, eat with the seasons, and remember that even the tiniest seed, whether it's a plant or an idea, can grow into something bigger.
That's awesome. How can listeners get in contact with you and learn more about Storehouse and Eden East Farm?
Well, of course, there's the Instagrams, Storehouse Bastrop, and then Eden East Farm is also Instagram, and storehousebastrop.com. And then, of course, if you're in town, just come to the restaurant.
Sounds great. Is there anything we didn't ask you that you wanted to shout out as well?
I guess the times that we're open.
Yes. What times are you open?
Well, our farm stand is open Wednesday and Saturdays, 9 to 1, and you can basically go right up to the farm, walk around if you want, and buy produce directly from the farmers, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, our dinner service at Storehouse is Wednesday through Saturday, 5 to 10, and then Saturday and Sunday brunch from 10 to 3.
Awesome. Well, Sonya, I thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great chatting with you and getting to know more about you, more about Storehouse, more about Eden East Farm. That's been awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to Bastrop Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, follow us on Instagram at wisdomhouse_TX and share it with a neighbor. We're here every week with the new conversations from people who make Bastrop feel like home. Got someone you think we should interview? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you.